I want to be sure to get this video out as soon as possible because I'm honestly not sure how much longer this redemption method is going to be around with how powerful it is. But in using the booking strategy that I'm going to be explaining in this video, I was able to get the highest cent per point values I've ever gotten for domestic flights, as well as travel in first class for cheaper than any of the economy booking methods I normally use. So without further ado, let me show you exactly how I use my American Express membership rewards points to book all of the American Airlines flights that I booked for the Creator Conversations podcast tour across the country that I recently got back from. First, let's start with the concept. Well, at a base level here, the way that we're going to be making this redemption is by utilizing American Express's transfer partners, specifically Hawaiian Airlines. In order to unlock access to Amex's transfer partners, you're going to need to have one of their cards that earns Amex membership rewards points, which is their transferable currency. As y'all know, if you've watched any of my travel-related videos, utilizing transfer partners is the best way to use your points in order to get maximum value and book the most expensive flights at the cheapest rates. While you could use your points for cashback or through a travel portal, those redemptions will be at a fixed cent per point value, and those are going to be very low, anywhere from 1 cent per point to 1.5 cents per point. But utilizing transfer partners gives you an uncapped value. You just have to make sure you use the right ones, and in this situation, Hawaiian Airlines is our golden ticket. Out of all of the big domestic airlines like Delta, Southwest, United, and American Airlines, American is the only one that is not reachable by any transferable currencies, and their point valuations are generally the highest. So that leaves a lot of us travel credit card folks really annoyed because we just don't have access to the best domestic airline out there. But as of right now, we do have a backdoor way to get access, and that's thanks to the Hawaiian and Alaska Airlines merger that happened back in September of 2024. But wait, how does that solve our issue? It sounds like the furthest we can get is Alaskan miles, right? Technically, yes. However, you can actually book American Airlines flights through Alaska's website, and that's because they're both part of the One World Alliance. So now there is a very simple pipeline from Amex membership rewards points straight to American Airlines flights. Before I show you my 3 personal examples, I'll note that Bilt is the only lender that actually has direct access to Alaska Airlines. So you can kind of skip a few steps in this process I'm about to describe if you just want to use Bilt points. However, remember that Bilt points are a lot harder to come by than American Express membership rewards points. So that's why I'd rather use the latter in this case. To do this yourself, you're going to want to follow a very simple 5-step process. Step 1, you're going to want to find your preferred American Airlines itinerary. Step 2, you want to confirm that Alaska has that exact same itinerary on their website. Step 3, you're going to transfer over the amount of points needed to make that booking from American Express over to Hawaiian Airlines. Step 4, you're going to now transfer those Hawaiian Airlines miles to Alaska miles. And then step 5, you're going to book that American Airlines flight through Alaska's website. Now, overall, that probably sounds pretty simple, but I want to give y'all some visual examples here. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. Before we get there, I want to tell y'all about an app that I use to manage all 17 of my credit cards, and particularly all of the credits and benefits on these cards that I need to be using for trips like this. That app is, of course, the long-term partner of this channel, Max Rewards. Max Rewards is an all-in-one credit card management app that allows you to track things like your total point balances, card balances, bill due dates, and so much more, all in one convenient interface. And while they have a ton of free features like the best card tool that tells you what card you should be using where, and their paid tier called Max Rewards Gold that'll automatically activate all of your card offers for you, as well as many more things. For this trip in particular, the benefits tab is what I'm going to be focusing on, because through this, I can see all of my favorite benefits in one place and ensure I'm using the right card for the right things. For example, here you can see that I've utilized my full $300 worth of my annual travel credit on my Chase Sapphire Reserve, a lot of which was used during this trip. And not only that, I can also see the credits that I probably should be utilizing better, like the Global Entry or TSA PreCheck credit on my Chase Sapphire Reserve. And seeing that reminds me that I need to get my girlfriend signed up for this as soon as possible and use the credit on that card to cover that for her. What I've also found to be helpful is that I can sort by my specific card I want to see. So if I go to my Capital One Venture X here, for example, I know I need to use my annual travel credit for this trip because that is coming up on its card member anniversary. And the Hertz President Circle status on this card came in clutch, as well as, of course, their partner lounge network, which I also used for part of this trip. So overall, if you want to try out that tab or any of the tabs in Max Rewards, please be sure to download it through the link in my description. And while you're signing up, you can use the promo code Spencer to give you a 1-month discount off of your annual Max Rewards Gold subscription if you ever do decide to upgrade. Thank you to Max Rewards, as always, for sponsoring this video, but let's get back into the content. As I mentioned earlier, recently I took a cross-country trip for my Creator Conversations podcast series, where I like to go and visit the other creators in our niche, book a hotel room, and film a podcast out of there that I can then share on the channel here, as well as anywhere else you find your podcast, by the way, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But for this trip in particular, I would be flying into airports I've never visited before. So I made sure to check all of my resources beforehand to just see if my normal booking methods were going to work in this situation. The first place that I like to start with really any booking is Google Flights. And I know that sounds extremely simple to do, but really it serves its purpose very well for what I'm doing in this first step. And what I noticed for this first example, my flight from Austin to Philadelphia, was that American had the cheapest one-way flights. And as somebody with no American Airlines miles at all, I thought I was kind of screwed here. While I could just use my Chase Sapphire Reserve through the portal like I normally do, I knew that there had to be a better way to make these redemptions. So I hit up my buddy JP Knowledge, who has very good expertise when it comes to booking, award availability type of flights. And he reminded me of this exact redemption style we're talking about here today, using my Amex points for American Airlines flights. So once I figured out that I did have that pipeline to use credit card points for this flight, I immediately went over to American Airlines website, found the exact itinerary that would be the best for me, which had a total cash price of $472.49. Then I moved over to Alaska's website to confirm that that same exact American Airlines flight was on there. And luckily it was. That would be AA1316. And I found that I could book it for just 12,500 miles and $18.10 in taxes and fees. Running a cent per point calculation for those numbers I just mentioned, I found that I would be getting a 3.64 cent per point valuation for just a normal domestic economy flight, which is way higher than I normally get. It's actually more than double what I would get at that 1.5 cent per point redemption rate with my Chase Sapphire Reserve. So with that being the case, obviously I was trying to jump on this as soon as possible. So I moved over to my Amex portal, accessed my Amex Blue Business Plus card, which does earn Amex membership rewards points, so it allows that transfer to their partners. And I initiated a transfer of 13,000 points from American Express to Hawaiian Airlines. In doing so, I was charged another $7.80 in taxes and fees, which was an Amex tax. It's extremely annoying, but still, this only brought my cent per point value down to 3.57, which wasn't a big deal at all. Y'all know that I don't normally put a very heavy emphasis on, getting high cent per point values, because I think that a lot of times we just over index on that and it's more of a vanity metric than anything. But in this specific case, I felt really good with this redemption because I didn't have to bend my redemption to fit the trip. It just naturally gave me that kind of value. And that's how I think credit card points should be used. We're not done here yet with this redemption though, because now that I had my points in my Hawaiian account, I needed to get them over to Alaska. So I navigated to Hawaiian's website and found the seamless miles transfer between them and Alaska. And then once my accounts were linked, that conversion just happened immediately, and I was able to complete the booking right then. Once the day of the flight rolled around, I made it a point to go to the Chase Sapphire Terrace Lounge here in Austin before it closes in mid-March. And then once I made it to Philly, I had to navigate the whole train system there because being from Texas, we don't have anything like that. But I eventually made it to Daniel's house, and the next day we went ahead and filmed the podcast that y'all saw already get released on the channel. And that quick stop in Philly was really fun. And if you want to hear more about the behind the scenes details, as well as just see like the full trip recap with the pictures and videos and everything I took, you can find that content in our membership down below. There should be a little join button for you to join the credit club with us if you're interested. But overall, example number one, super high cent per point value and really nothing to complain about at all. The second flight that I booked for this trip was using the exact same method, but instead of an economy flight, this time I wanted to take a first class flight because it would be going from Philadelphia all the way to LAX. And that is like a minimum 6-hour flight. So being cramped in economy would not be ideal, but of course, I'm not opposed to that at all. So to show you how I searched for that flight specifically, I'm going to run through the same step-by-step process here a little bit quicker, just to reinforce the system for you. I first went to American Airlines website, once again, found the flight that I wanted in first class that cost a whopping $1,090.48. Obviously, do not want to pay that kind of cash price for a flight, so I was crossing my fingers hoping that I could find the exact same in points on Alaska's website, and lo and behold, they had it for just 35,000 points and $18.10 in taxes and fees. So we're talking a cash valuation of $350 for those points for a $1,100 flight. That's big plus in my book. After that, went back to my Amex account to transfer over 35,000 points over to Hawaiian, and I incurred another $21 worth of transfer fees because of Amex. But next, once those miles were deposited to Hawaiian, I initiated the same transfer over to Alaska that we talked about in example 1, and finally completed the booking that came out to a 3 cent per point value, still double what I would have gotten on my Chase Sapphire Reserve. And let me tell you this one thing too about this flight. I am so glad that I ended up booking the first class option, because if not, I would have had a much worse time on this flight. This was my first ever domestic first class trip, and I honestly wasn't really sure it would be worth it, but those worries were quickly wiped away with just how good the service was. I was able to constantly get refills on my water, which was actually really important considering I was doing all of these podcasts and wanted to make sure I was healthy. Plus, I got dinner on the flight, which is always a game changer, all while being able to start the editing on Daniel and I's podcast episode with plenty of legroom in that bulkhead seat. After landing in LAX, I made my way to the rental car area and picked up a nice Mustang using my Hertz President Circle status. And I drove an hour outside of LA for my next 2 Creator Conversation episodes, where I stayed at a Hyatt Place that came out to a 2.17 cent per point redemption rate. And while this video is not about hotel redemptions, I figured I'd go ahead and throw it in because it's really nice to see how all of these different point ecosystems can work together. And while it's helpful to, just talk about the flights, nobody only books flights for their trips. You got to have accommodations too. So this is all part of the same puzzle here. The 2 episodes here were awesome, one of which was with a returning guest, but the other was with somebody I've never filmed with before, and he has a pretty big general just personal finance audience. So I'm really excited for y'all to see that one. Right after filming my last episode there, I drove straight back to LAX to film my last 2 interviews there at another Hyatt Place, which did have a lower value, but was still above my base at 1.61 cents per point. I found out really quick with this trip that there's just not a lot of great ways to use points for hotels in LAX proper, at least with the point currencies that I earn in, but it all ended up working out just fine. And getting to spend time with 2 great creators that I've become friends with over the past few years was, of course, really fun. And then finally, before I booked my flight home, which is the 3rd example we're talking about in this video, I drove down to San Diego for the final interview and stayed at this awesome Hyatt Regency in Mission Bay. And this was actually the first time I ever booked a suite with Hyatt, but it was really well worth it. Wasn't that many more points, and the room upgrade was really just key for this day in particular. For this one, I used a different redemption method once again, so bringing the whole puzzle together. I used my travel credit on my Capital One Venture X to book this $302.02 room. So overall, fully took advantage of that $300 travel credit with only $2 left over. Y'all are gonna love the last guest that I interviewed as well. While they may not be like a YouTube native creator, they've amassed a really massive audience across all platforms, specifically Instagram and TikTok, and their expertise on the travel side of this credit card game is just top notch. So stay tuned for that. Now it's time for the 3rd example, my flight home from San Diego to Austin. And this one was booked a tiny bit differently, but I wanted to share it with y'all as an alternative way to use this exact same approach we've been talking about, minus one of the steps. The best rates for this flight actually came from Alaska directly, so I didn't even have to eventually move my points over to American Airlines. So instead of first going to American's website, I just went straight to Alaska's, found a first class ticket with them that cost $408.30, or just 20,000 miles and $5.60 in taxes and fees. After that, you know exactly what I did. Went over to Amex's website and initiated the transfer over to Hawaiian. I do wonder if I should have just made this full points transfer at once rather than piecemealed. I don't know how the taxes and fees would have differed, but maybe y'all can let me know down below. But next, I transferred from Hawaiian over to Alaska and then booked the trip. With the $12 in Amex taxes added to the numbers I initially mentioned, this flight came out to a 1.95 cent per point valuation, which is still much higher than my base. Oh, by the way, before this flight, I got to visit my favorite lounge I think I've been to so far, and that is the Chase Sapphire Lounge in San Diego. And I'll show a couple quick videos of it here, but again, full access through the membership. All I really need to say is that they had amazing food. It was practically empty. The staff was super nice. And there was nothing more that I could ask for, an hour or so that I wanted to work before taking off. I highly recommend you stop by this if you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve and you're in San Diego. It was very much worth my time. So now bringing every example together here, overall, I was able to save $1,971.07, valued at much higher cent per point values than I've ever gotten for domestic flights before, and recorded 6 Creator Conversation episodes at 3 different hotels that I saved an additional $1,035.15 for, thanks to my built rewards points that I transferred over to Hyatt, as well as the $300 travel credit on my Capital One Venture X. So if this entire trip and all the redemption methods that I kind of ended up using doesn't show you the power of credit card points and miles, I don't know what will. I would highly recommend that y'all utilize this Amex to American Airlines redemption as soon as possible, because I really don't think that it's going to last that long with how powerful it is. But if at this point you're curious to hear more about my other redemptions that I've made and how I saved over $19,000 total in travel value last year with my credit card points, go ahead and click into this video next. As always, Odin and I both want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.